Good morning and welcome to Soulful Contemplations. Today we're going to be reading from the poetry of Rumi, and I look forward to just another wonderful time with you. These readings have been very inspiring for me, and many of you have written to say how much they have loved this work. Rumi's poetry stands apart from almost all poetry that I've ever come across. His writing touches a deep spiritual chord, and it goes to a place where it transcends, it takes us beyond the world that we live in. And so I hope that it serves as a source of great inspiration for all of you. Let's dive into it. It's exciting. What we have today is a poem called Where Everything is Music. Now, I'm sure you're a fan of music just as I am, and we all have our own style of music that we like and enjoy. But Rumi is going to speak to us today about music that is eternal, music that arises from a deeper place, a place of silence. So let's read what he has to say. Rumi writes, "Don't worry about saving these songs." Isn't that the first thing we normally do? We go save our songs. I don't know, I always did, even as a kid. Save the songs, right? He says, don't worry about saving these songs. And if one of our instruments breaks, it doesn't matter. Really? We have fallen into the place where everything is music. Where is that place where everything is music? When have you ever felt that everything is music? When have you ever felt so carried away by the waves of time and life, where you felt that everything was music? Have you ever experienced this before? I guess it's about the same as asking, have you ever been in love before? Because if you have, you know this experience. You know what it's like to fall in love with life, to experience everything as music. It's like I've often said, life should have a background score, that there should be, music along with our day-to-day life, so that just as when there are good things, they'll have this uplifting music going on. And otherwise, there'll be this sad, somber music like you have in the movies. But yeah, music just definitely makes everything seem so incredibly wonderful. And what if you could tune in and experience that there is, in fact, music going on all the time, everywhere in the universe? It's a different kind of music. It's a music where, as Rumi says here, and if one of our instruments breaks, it doesn't matter. So it's not about some bunch of instruments. It's not about someone singing, but it's about it's music that lies within this universe that is playing all the time, if only you would pause to listen. How do you do that? Let's go into it. Let's find out what he has to say. It's exciting. The strumming and the flute notes rise into the atmosphere, and even if the whole world's harp should burn up, there will still be hidden instruments playing. Ooh. Yes, the everyday sounds. And I don't mean the everyday sounds. No. I mean the music behind the sounds. When you go behind the sounds, Christian's pointing out, lovely question there, thank you. It's not about the sounds that we hear. And yes, you could definitely hear the music of that. I saw a lovely movie like that where they once had this little kid. I forget the name of the movie though, but he would hear music even in the sounds of the traffic and in the sounds of the people talking and, all the ambient sound. But in my understanding, Rumi is going even beyond that. That in the rustling of the winds, in the sunshine that is coming through, there is a music in it. And it's not a music that you will hear with your ears. It is a music you will feel with your heart. So he continues. So the candle flickers and goes out. We have a piece of flint and a spark. So we could light it again. We could strike the candle again. This singing art is a sea foam. The graceful movements come from a pearl somewhere on the ocean floor. So he's not saying that he's saying the graceful movements of this music, of this sound, he's comparing it to sea foam. He's comparing it to the waves, and he's saying that they come from a pearl somewhere on the ocean floor. Something mystical, something magical that lies at the heart of the ocean, that is sending these waves up, that is sending this sea foam up. Poems reach up like spindrift and the edge of driftwood along the beach, wanting. Poems reach up from that pearl that is hidden in the ocean. What is this pearl that is hidden in the ocean of this world, of the world where you live and I live? Is there something that we're not seeing? Is there something that we're missing? Is there something that we're not hearing because our minds are chattering too much, because we're too worried and too much caught up in our planning and thinking and creating and doing? What if we stopped all of that? What if we allowed ourselves just to settle down into not doing anything? The Italians call this la dolce far niente, the sweetness of doing nothing. Within that nothing, that doing nothing, thinking nothing, being nothing, we're now able to hear the melody of the universe. We're able to hear the hidden melody that is arising from the pearl within the ocean, that is sending off this resonance. What it means is that there is a core within all of this incredible universe we live in that we are not tuning into. There is a veil, a shadow that we're using to cover the real experience of life that we could have is being missed out on. So let me give you an example. You sit down to eat a meal, and yes, you taste the flavors and you smell and you look at the colors, and that's wonderful. But if you slow down even further, you will experience within it, within the food, a deeper layer. We used to call it love when it was at my grandma's house or my mom's house. We'd think, this is love, right? Because there was a deeper layer behind. That's why grandma's food or mom's food would taste so good, because there was love in it. And that made it somehow special. There was this deeper layer. It takes, you won't find it at a restaurant. You won't find it in most places you go to. But maybe a friend who loves you very dearly, who has made something special for you, you'll find it there. So what is that deeper layer in life? Slow down. It's going to take this one thing. It's going to take slowing down and really savoring life for you to hear the music that Rumi is talking about. As he says here, the strumming and the flute notes rise into the atmosphere. And even if the whole world's harp should burn up, there will still be hidden instruments playing. So it's not about physical instruments. It's not about it's not, in the example of the food, it's not about the food. Look beyond it. Look beyond everything. When you're with a partner, with a lover, look beyond the form. We're all so caught up in the form, and we're even caught up in the words of what they say. And so often I find I have got lost in the words of what that person is saying, and maybe they're upset, or maybe they're angry, or maybe they're hurt. and we're caught up in the logic of what they're saying, or in the lack of logic of what there's the emotion of what they're saying. And if we just, I thank you, Christian, that is lovely, writing about slowing down, a song that he's written, that you've written. So yeah, slowing down helps you tune in, right? Tune in to the subtleties of life. And I tell you this, the beauty of life lies in its subtleties, not in the big noise that everybody's making. And as you said, the society makes us feel like we need to move fast. Yeah, they do. If you don't move fast, they feel like you're a loser. They feel like you're not good enough. You know what? I own it. I'm a loser. I'm not good enough. I'm not going to be shamed by you. I'm not going to have me miss out on the most important thing there is to life, and that is the sweetness of life, right? So I invite you all to start to experience this that Rumi is taking us into. Let's read further what he says. They derive from a slow and powerful root that we cannot see. So this music derives, this music that is there in the universe, this cosmic music that is playing all the time, doesn't derive from instruments. In the Vedic system, we call it Nada Brahma. It is the music of the universe. It arises in stillness. It arises in silence. You have to be silent and be comfortable with silence. You have to be able to sit in that silence and feel its energy. And then as you feel into it, you will feel and experience this incredible melody. And to give it the name melody, or to give it the name music, is simply to put words to something that really has no words. It is something out of this world. But he says it derives from a slow and powerful root that we cannot see. Stop the words now. Open the window in the center of your chest and let the spirits fly in and out. Hear this. This is the essence of all that he's saying. Stop the words now. And it's not just the words you speak, but it's the words you hear in your head. It's the words that are chattering through in your mind. Those words, especially those words. Be comfortable with the silence. Because in the silence lies great mysteries. In the silence lies great discoveries to be made. Discoveries that will transport you from this world into another world. Discoveries that will end all suffering. There is no suffering except the suffering that goes on in our head. Really. Yes, there is pain in the world. Sometimes if you don't have food, or someone hits you, or you get a disease, sure, there's pain. But suffering is in the mind. Suffering is optional. And suffering arises because we're listening to this chatter. I invite you, slow down and experience the beauty of life. It's all around you. There's music all around you. There's music in the wind. There's music in the sun, in the sunshine. There's music in just the feel of everything around you. Like, really look. Go beyond the forms. Go beyond the things you see and hear. Go beyond the senses. That's right. Go beyond the senses, and you will find it. It is here. It is now. Okay? This is an invitation. This is a call that to move away from the way the world is taking us. They want to tell us, oh, if you have a lot of money, you will be successful and you will be rich, and everyone should jump on this bandwagon and read these books like The Secret or The Law of Attraction. Just utter nonsense. Utter nonsense. It is seducing us away from the real treasure, the real wealth, the real glory of life, which lies not in all of this, but rather in the sweetness of nothingness, the sweet nothingness of existence. Your existence is the miracle. Your This creation you live in, this is the miracle. Be present in it. Be alive in it. And you will know a life beyond all misery and all suffering. People want to go to heaven so that they can end their miseries of this life and so they can somehow have eternal life. I tell you, eternal life is here. You will experience eternity in this silence. You will experience eternity as you begin to tune into the music of this universe. It is here now. And if you say, how do I get there? Meditation is a start. Meditation is a beginning. But meditation is only a process. I learned the hard way because I tried too hard to meditate and I kept failing at it. And eventually I learned that it was not meditation, it was not the technique that would take me there. It was not the breathing, it was not the mantra, it was none of that. It was that I had to let go of my attachment to thinking, my addiction to thinking, my addiction to, and even the thought that I am thinking, even the thought that I am walking is still a thought. The thought that I should meditate is still a thought. I need to move past that too. So what I describe it now to myself is this, is that slide out of this domain. Become like someone covered in oil, right? And someone, if you're covered in oil, like you're a ton of oil all over you, and someone tries to hold you, well, they can't get you. You're too slippery. You just slip away from them. So slip away from your mind. Slide away. Think of it like falling asleep. People tell me sometimes, oh, I'm trying so hard to fall asleep. The harder you try, the less you'll be. You cannot sleep if you try hard. It won't work. It's the opposite. You have to stop trying. You have to stop struggling, and you have to just allow yourself to fall asleep. And it's the same with meditation. Allow yourself to slide into this other domain, this other vibration, this other frequency. And in that vibration, in that frequency, there is the music that Rumi is talking about. It's there. It's all the time there. It's playing all the time. It's non-stop, 24/7. But you have a choice. And the choice is, I can be in my head or I can be in bliss. The bliss of this music, the bliss of the music that is in this universe, the universal music that is playing all around us, that is available without, when you step out of this. It's a conundrum. It's a powerful conundrum. How do we get past this? How do we look deeper? So Rumi's got another lovely poem here, and I'll read it to you real quick because this one's it's a simple one. It's called Spring. I'll throw this in as well. Here he says, again the violet bows to the lily, again the rose is tearing off her gown. Now, look at the level of observation. Just observation. If you would sit and observe life, you will find poetry in it. That's all he's doing. The green ones have come from the other world, tipsy like the breeze up to some new foolishness. The green ones mean the green grass or the green leaves. Again, near the top of the mountain, the anemone's sweet features appear. The hyacinth speaks formally to the jasmine, peace be with you, and peace be to you, lad. Come walk with me in this meadow. Again, there are Sufis everywhere. So Rumi sees all these plants and flowers as Sufis, all of them greeting, peace be with you. All of them, yes. Thank you, Christian. Everything is poetry. This is beautiful what you said. Poetry is everything. There is poetry all around us. It doesn't need to rhyme. It doesn't need to be something that is perfectly written. No, the perfection is simply in noticing the beauty all around us. So I invite you, wherever you go, stop for beauty. Stop for beauty. And notice beautiful things and share them. There's beauty everywhere. Everywhere. You have the choice to notice it or to be in your head and in your thoughts. Tell me which one is better. Where would you rather be? Rumi continues, the bud is shy, but the wind removes her veil suddenly and says, my friend. The friend is here. Who is the friend? For Rumi, the friend, when he says the friend, he's referring to God. Unlike most people out here, unlike most people who grew up in the world of the Abrahamic religions, let's call it that, and who grew up with the idea of God being some vengeful, angry, wrathful creature who's going to send people to hell if they don't listen to him. I grew up in a different culture, and I think Rumi did too, where God was someone playful and fun. For Rumi, he's the friend. My friend, he calls him, right? Where I grew up, they talked of Krishna. Krishna was the lover. So imagine God as a lover, as your beloved, as the person who you can make love to. So for Rumi, he's my friend, he says. The friend is here like water in the stream, like a lotus on the water. The friend is here. The friend is everywhere. The divine God is everywhere. It's all around you. That's the music we've been talking about. That's the music of the universe, playing through every atom in the creation, playing incessantly. He continues, the narcissus winks at the wisteria whenever you say, in the clove of the willow, you are the one I hope for. You know, we've all been brought up with this idea of finding the one. And here Rumi points to something. He says, the clove to the willow says, you are the one I hope for. I tell you this, you are the one I hope for. And you, and you, and you, all of you. And we are the one we hope for each other, with each other. I am the one I hope for, and you are the one I hope for. And in all of this, let us drop all our expectations of some ideal being that we shall find, or the ideal being that we shall become, because there is no ideal being. The ideal being already exists, and that ideal being is you, and that ideal being is me, and that ideal being is all of us. We are ideal as we are. We are perfect as we are. We are incredibly blessed as we are right now, right here. Just stop and look. How incredible is that heart that pumps within you. How it continues doing this day after day, night after night, without you even knowing anything about it. How incredible are those lungs that keep breathing. How did this come to be? What incredible miracle is it that we have been given and exposed to? How does this universe even begin to rise, the sun setting and the waves coming up to a certain point and going back? And how does any of this happen? The scientists may give you any explanation from physics or chemistry or biology, but they cannot fathom how to make this happen. Create an ocean for me, if you would. It's one thing to tell me how the ocean works. It's another to tell me to actually go out and create it, right? So whatever it is that created it, Rumi calls it the friend. And he says, you are the one I hope for. You. That's right, you, all of you are the one I hope for. You are the one that I've been dreaming of. The willow replies, consider these chambers of mine yours. Welcome. Imagine if each of us did this. This heart of mine is yours. This home of mine is yours. Welcome. Welcome into this heart. I am not trying to protect anything here. I have nothing to lose because I have lost everything. I have realized that I am nothing. And when I realize this, that is the death of the ego. The ego wants to be something. The ego wants to prove its worth. The ego wants to be of value. The ego wants to be something that is credible and important and substantial and meaningful. But I tell you this, it's a lie. It's a freaking lie. We will never be substantial. We will never be meaningful. We will never have worth. We will never amount to anything. Own it. Own it. And go your way and enjoy your life. Our ego is the one that is playing havoc with us, driving us, spinning us because it is weak and insecure and fearful. But within your soul, within you, the core of you, lies a power so great that it is fearless. It is shameless. It couldn't care what anybody thinks. It certainly doesn't care what you think, either of yourself or of anyone else. That power that lies within you must be reclaimed, because that power that lies within each of us, that is the great mystery we have come here to discover. Find it. It's here. It will not be found by your thinking or your doing. It will only be found in silence. And that then will be the music. You will find that you are never alone. You will find that you are never, ever anything less than anyone else. There is no comparison. You are uncomparable. Uncomparable. You are uncomparable to anyone else. The question of worth does not arise, because there is no such thing as worth. You are priceless as you are. Priceless. For no reason at all. Not because you've done something, but because that is who you are. Your worth, your value is intrinsic. Think of a mother with her child. Is the child's worth because the child is a genius? Is the child's worth when she holds her baby in her arm? Is the worth and value of that child because this child is going to be a multimillionaire? That would be ridiculous. That love of that mother for her baby is intrinsic. I love you because you're you. I love you. It doesn't matter what you do, what you become. I love you as you are. And that is the quality of love we've come to learn in this world. And that is the quality of love that will transport us out of all misery. That love is to be found only at the deepest level. That is the pearl within the ocean that Rumi was talking about. I'll go back to that line where he says it. He says, there is a pearl. Where was it? Yeah. The singing art is a sea foam. The graceful movements come from a pearl somewhere on the ocean floor. So this magic that is in us. When you see beauty outside you, you're seeing beauty. That beauty is the only visible to you because of the beauty inside you. You would not see the beauty outside you if you were not aware of the beauty inside you. Beauty is, we see only that which we are, that where our consciousness is at. When you are present to something, you are out of your head. You cannot be in your head and present. Do you know this? You cannot be in your head and present to something. It doesn't work like that. To be present to something or someone, you have to get out of your head. You have to come into your senses and observe or listen, whether it's music or whether it's something visual or whether it's something that is sensory that you're touching. You have to get out of your head so you can notice this thing. And when you notice it, then an energetic exchange takes place and you begin to feel something at a much deeper level, which has nothing to do with thought. It has nothing to do with the realm of thought. Thought is our enemy. We were taught, I think, therefore I am. René Descartes said this. And I say, no. You got it wrong. I think, therefore I am not. I think, therefore I am not. I, the real me, the real self, is now hidden behind the veil of thoughts. So let us peel off that layer, that veil, that curtain of thoughts, and let us enter into the realm of the spirit, of the soul. It's there. And it is like this little pearl somewhere on the ocean floor. You may think it's far and it's hard to find, but I tell you this, it's only a breath away. Take a deep breath and you will find it. It's there. When you feel that calm within you, that's where it's coming from. When you feel that sense of peace as you take a deep breath and come into your body, where do you think that peace is coming from? It's coming from you, the real you. Not this made up you, the one that your mind made up, which is called the ego. Not that one, not the one you think you are. You are not who you think you are. You are not your achievements. You are not your body. You are not this gender. You are not this race. You are not any of it. You are not your story. You are none of it. You are that pearl that is hidden within, from which comes the music of life. So I thank you so much for joining me here. Christian, if you want to know more about, or any of you want to know more about the poetry that I'm reading here, this is from Coleman Barks' version, a translation of Rumi's poetry called the Essential Rumi. And please join me. I'm here every Monday at 9:30 a.m. or somewhere around there. Be around, and I would love to continue this conversation with you. I'm also on Instagram at rohitjuneja.us or on my website, rohitjuneja.com. You can look for me on YouTube. I have a ton of videos out there. And I look forward to staying in connection with you and contact, and wish you a wonderful day.